In today's video, guys, I'm going to be tier listing every map and mode currently in RFTI, both public and private servers. Remember that this is my opinion along with some of my friends' opinions, so it may fluctuate between different people with different skill levels. With all this being said though, let's get on to the video. So coming in at number 4 as the worst map in RFTI is going to be Pitfalls. Personally, I'm not a big fan of Pitfalls, and I know a lot of people that aren't. It's a really tight map with a bunch of walls, so it's impossible to correctly aim any of your items unless you're in that center area, which is like the danger zone. It also is the only map with 3 entire layers of level, which is honestly quite goofy. You can go from one end of the map to the other in like 2-3 seconds with the right items, and it's just a really small map that goes up. There's a giant cheese in the center that a lot of my friends utilize to just abuse point scaling and get free kills all the time, but other than that, there's not a whole lot of good qualities to Pitfall. In fact, those last things were not good qualities at all, which is why it's going to be the worst map in the game. Deciding the third best map in the game was a bit of a difficult task for me, but after some deliberation with some of my friends, we ultimately concluded that it was Stronghold. Now, I'm okay with Stronghold. There are a lot of upsides and downsides to this map, but ultimately more downsides. Firstly, you remember that Pitfalls landfill? Yeah, that's here, but it's in the center again, and it's at the highest point of the map. Why? I mean, there is a little housing area underneath, which I guess is a little interesting, and it houses 4 items. That's cool. But it's a very, very tight map, especially that inner area once you get through the castle walls. Like, you can get blocked off by a barrier quite literally instantly, and you can't do anything about it. Not to mention that the walls with items are actually really tight, and there's nothing that spawns on the outside of the castle, so that makes it a lot harder to approach the castle before getting nuked by literally any explosive, which is sort of why it's going to be here at number 3. Okay, so coming in at number 2 is the second best map in the game, and was the best map at release, is Prototyped. I love this map. It is a very open map. It is very good for beginners to learn how to play the game. The only small tad issue I have with it is that the platforms are very small and tight, but that's easily workaroundable, and it's just kind of a part of the game to learn how to manage type platforming. But other than that, Prototyped is perfect. It has the right amount of bounce pads, it has the right amount of elevation, has the right amount of extension on both sides, and even a little random little box area. And it has a good amount of items that you can go find around the map, even though it is very minimalistic. It is still a great map, and I think that a lot of people will hate or disagree with this selection of Prototyped at number 2. Now coming in at number 1 as the best map in RFTI, and you guys pretty much saw this coming, is Recoil. If there's one map I enjoy slamming kids on, it's Recoil. If there's one map I enjoy the fast traveling on, it's Recoil. There's one map I can get my ass slammed because I'm sitting on the trampolines for too long, it's fucking Recoil. In all seriousness, this map is amazing. It has the right amount of literally everything. Random locations of random buildings and items, a good amount of platforming with some narrowness to help get the players into a more competitive scene. And it has bounce pads as trampolines. That's awesome. I've been to a trampoline park myself. This satisfies me a lot. I cannot stop talking about how amazing this map is. There was a little secret room at one point, but you can't access it anymore, which is sad and it sucks. But hey, everything else is perfect and amazing, and I hope Recoil stays the best map in the game for a good while. Now that we've officially completed the map tier list, it's time to move on to modes. And coming in at 5th place for modes, we have PvB, or players versus bots. It's just super baseline as a mode. Like, the Nextbots are very easy to follow and track their flight patterns, are super easy to attack, and there's no real competitiveness. It's more of like a relaxed game than a competitive get the highest score game. Sure, you can be competitive in this mode, but it doesn't feel competitive, or at least the same as the modes ahead, which is why it's coming in 5th place. It's not bad, but it could be better. Alright, so in 4th place, we have the Infinite game mode exclusive to private servers. It's really just free-for-all, but the timer goes up. And once it hits 4 minutes, it keeps going up. Like the name. And yes, there is PvP. So if you have that one really good friend, and a bunch of people who are just kind of average, I guess, that one pro is going to be in that arena for 20-30 minutes, and everyone's going to be forced to spectate or leave. It's just not really, it's just, it gets boring very quickly if you're all by yourself. Certainly play this with your friends. Please don't go try hard on them and kill them very early so you can just sit there for 20 minutes. I mean, it's a good game mode. It's certainly not the best. In number 3, we have the most average game mode in the game, free-for-all. Yeah, it's pretty average. It's just you against literally anything in the field. Players, Nextbots, landmines, and banana peels. Literally anything something can throw at you. And you have to basically protect yourself from everything. It's fun on some maps, not fun on other maps. But it's just the kind of average game mode where it's just like, okay. Which is why it's going to be number 3. Okay, in 2nd place in what was the best game mode during release is PvP, or player versus player. It is fun. It is just you and other players, no Nextbots around, and you get to learn combos the hard and fun way at the same time. There's nothing much else to say about this game mode. It's just fun battling against human beings. You don't have to run from PNGs ever in this game mode, which I think is pretty nifty, and why it's coming at number 2. Alright, so coming in as the number 1 mode in RFTI is King of the Hill. For those who've already played King of the Hill in RFTI, you guys saw this one coming. Well, you don't know how King of the Hill works in RFTI? Okay, let me explain. You sit in this giant square. It varies between maps. And you sit there and gain points. It's just like any other mode where you have to get the most points to win. However, in this mode, you get points for both sitting in a hill and doing nothing, and attacking people at the same time. And you get more points if you attack people and sit on the hill at the same time. So, it's a win-win either way. Anyways, King of the Hill is fun. I love playing it with my buddies in private servers, because apparently it's shut down in public. What are you doing? Anyways, King of the Hill is one of the most balanced game modes in RFTI. Instead of being absolutely pummeled by literally every item that everybody throws in this one square, it does half damage. But you're still getting flung a lot, so you're still taking a lot of damage. But it's now balanced and fair for everybody. For every reason that was mentioned in this audio clip, that is why King of the Hill is the number 1 game mode in RFTI.